The inspiration behind Supersonic was really the speed of sound. I was in this incredibly fast lane with kids who were older than me. They were doing very different things than what I wanted to be doing. You know, I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. Not much happens there. And all of a sudden, I found myself in New York City for high school with these kids who were 14 and 15 years old, and if you saw them on the street, you would have thought they were 22 or 23. I was really behind, but at the same time, I was trying to keep up because it was sort of one of those things that I knew if I wasn't in this crowd of people, I wouldn't have any friends. You know, I was gonna be back sitting by myself at lunch, and so I was trying so hard to keep up with this very fast group of people, and I was struggling with it. You know, I was keeping a lot, I was hiding a lot. I wasn't really telling anyone who I was with, where I was at. It was, you know, a really sneaky time, I suppose, in my life. And I remember one night though that I look back on often, that I speak about in this song. I was at a party at this girl's house, and you know, everyone's sort of there and around this table, and I remember they were doing cocaine. And I had never even seen it before. I'm just kind of sitting there and I'm like, what's going on, you know? And I just remember, Grace, do it. Come on, you'll love it. It's fun. And I'm thinking to myself, in this moment, I have such a choice. I can do it, and I can be cool, and I can be friends with these people who are gonna take me down so far, or I can walk away and know that that's gonna be really hard to do. I'm going back to sitting alone at lunch. I'm going back to having no friends. I'm going back to Friday and Saturday nights alone, because if you're not participating in it, people don't want you to hang out with them. And I ran into the bathroom because I have horrible anxiety and I'm starting to freak out at this point. And I remember looking myself in the mirror, and I had almost this distorted image of myself, and I'm panicking and I'm breathing heavy. And I remember asking myself this question: what would my younger self think of me right now in this moment? What would she tell me to do? Would she be proud? What's she thinking? And ultimately, what she told me to do was get my shit and go home. Go figure out my identity. Go figure out what you want to do with your life. Don't surround yourself with these people who are going to do nothing but take you so far down with them, you know? That's how bad people are. They want you to play on their level. They want to take you down. They want you to go there with them. And that was a choice I made. I ran out. I went home. I didn't tell anyone about this experience kind of up until this moment. I'll never forget it though. It was really a turning point in my story of growing up, where I really decided, wow, I've got to get my life back on track. You know, I've wasted so much time the last couple years on stupid things. You know, I've got to go figure it out, and I've got to go face now some demons that I don't want to face, but I have to. I think the peer pressure for me really kicked in high school. I don't think it was quite there in middle school, but by the time I get to Supersonic, I'm right in the thick of it. And most of my friends in high school were a lot older than I was, and I think that was hard for me because having older friends, they're doing things that older people do. And, you know, peer pressure is a really hard one because on one hand, you want to be accepted and you want to be invited to things and you want to have friends. And on the other hand, sometimes they're doing things that you don't want to do, that you're not comfortable doing, that you're not ready to do because maybe you are younger than your friends. You know, when I was this age and I had all these people talking about sex and their girlfriends and their boyfriends, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm still super young compared to you guys. It's not something that I can relate to. It's tricky. And I think that you have to find a healthy balance between experimental and trying something for the first time. You know, I'm a super honest person. Obviously, I had a drink in high school. Everyone has a drink in high school. But there's a big difference between doing that and making a habit of it and making it something that you have to do when you go out because you now have to do it to have fun or people are pressuring you to do it. I think that you have to do your best to surround yourself with people who have the same values as you. For me, for a long time in high school, I was friends with people who loved to party. That's what they like to do. It's not that it's wrong, it just wasn't me. And so when I found myself in that group of people, I didn't know what to do because I truly didn't fit in with them. And so I think a big part of peer pressure is just making sure you surround yourself with people who believe the same things, who want to do the same things. And I think that's how it's avoided. And I would caution any young person on having older friends because, you know, you want to be part of the crew. You want to have fun at the party, but there's just things that you're not ready for it at that age that, you know, someone who's going to be going to college is. And that was hard for me to understand. But now that I'm 19 and can look back and I'm in the place where my friends were at, I understand it. You know, you want to do different things as an adult than as you did when you were 15 or 16 years old. I wanted Supersonic to go really fast. I wanted it to sound like Anxiety. I wanted it to sound like this, you're almost there. You know, I wanted it to almost sound unfinished in a way. And I think that it's one of my personal favorites on the whole album. I couldn't even tell you why. It's one of those songs that I put on and, you know, it makes me feel free, but at the same time, it makes me really think about my surroundings, my situation, what I'm really saying in that song, which in a weird way, it's almost like a cry for help. You know you're in a lane that's far too fast for you. You know you're doing things you're not supposed to be doing with people you're not supposed to be doing them with. And, you know, as that song comes to a close and you hear this sort of very loud, slow motion, sci-fi sounding voice, it takes you out of things for a second and it forces you to sort of come above your situation and figure out what you want to do next. I think during that song, you reflect a lot on your choices. And I think that you find within those words and melodies and lyrics this sort of rush. It's like a roller coaster, you know. I remember when I went in to write Supersonic, I wanted to bring back that roller coaster element that I discussed in Sandman, and now we're in the middle of this story, and I wanted it to come back, and I wanted this song to feel like that song. You're on this roller coaster, it's going too fast, it's not gonna stop. You either jump off or you keep going. For me, I decided I needed to get off it immediately, but some people ride forever.